pattern, not for fapping. And then because I started the word with lollies, it said age is not just a number. It was like, God damn it, Nightbot. Okay, right, let's carry on. If Dada doesn't say anything. End of chapter 9. What was it? I feel like it was an important tip. Oh. No, I can't remember. After hanging up on Shion, I searched for Rika-chan's phone number on my school's contact list. There it is. My fingers trembled with urgency and I failed multiple times to put in the simple 5-digit number. Keiichi, are you calling someone at this hour? It's late and it's being rude to the other person. That doesn't matter right now. I shouted angrily at my mother, listening to the dial tone. Pick up, pick up, pick up. The time was 11 PM. It certainly wasn't early. It was essentially the middle of the night. What? No. No. 11 PM is not the middle of the night anywhere. What? 11 PM is like an early bedtime. Or at least like average, I guess. Had Rika-chan already gone to bed? Or maybe because Rika's on lolly. She's like, her bedtime's like 7. Her phone would be ringing constantly though, so would she get back up for me? Rika-chan didn't pick up. She didn't pick up. She didn't pick up. Maybe she just happened to miss it. Maybe her bed was just too far away from the phone. The sound of a phone ringing gets clearer and clearer the longer you go on sleeping. Then, the bathroom? Yeah, she must be taking a bath. Oh my god. Keiichi, don't think such naughty thoughts. If that was the case, then even if she heard the phone, she wouldn't be able to pick up. It was a little late to be taking a bath, but it was possible she normally took baths right before going to bed. But it was the middle of the night, Keiichi. I'll wait 30 minutes and try calling again. Not for 10 years. It's only an hour before the middle of the night. God, what? No, that's... How is 12 the middle of the night? Middle of the night's like the middle of when you go to sleep, which is probably about 11 or 12, to when you get up, which is like 8 to 10, depending. Even if I was thinking that, I called her house over and over again. I kept calling over and over, again and again. I kept on calling her, but she didn't pick up even once. I think I kept trying for about 30 minutes, yet she wasn't picking up. It's midnight, but it's not middle of the night. I didn't really... I guess I've never really thought of it like that, but I don't know. It doesn't really make sense because it's not the middle of the night really, is it? Were my phone calls so persistent that she had gotten scared of picking up the receiver? No, that couldn't possibly be it. There was no point in doing this any longer. The best thing to do would be to go there in person. Where was Rika-chan's house there? Shit, I never even asked where she lived. Her residence was written there in the contact list, but it was an address with mostly numbers, so I couldn't tell where it was just by reading it. Isn't there a map or something in there? Rika Furude. Her last name was Furude. It was a bit of an odd last name, but so it might be easy to find. Thinking that, I rummaged around the drawer with a phone book, but could only find things like takeout menus and phone numbers for public establishments. Phone book. Feels 1980s, man. Nobody has a healthy sleeping pattern, come on. Shit. I tore one thing after another out of the drawer, but I didn't come up with any clues as to where Rika-chan's house was. Why would you have Rika-chan's house address in just like your drawer? What? Calm down, Keiichi. If you don't know, then just ask. Ask someone who does know. Ah, that's it. Satoko? Oh, Reina's gotta know. She loves the lollies. I looked up Reina's phone number on the contact list. Reina Ryugi. There she was. Hello. This is the Ron Ryugi. She picked up. Hello? This is Ryugi. It was the voice of a oh. That's pretty close. Of a grumpy sounding man. It must have been Reina's father. I am calling in the middle of the night. I need to be polite. I hate when he says that. It's gonna tilt me every time. I'm sorry for calling so late at night. This is my brother. Is there any chance Reina-san is around? Reina died. Reina's taking a bath. Oh, she's done? Reina, there's a friend of yours on the phone. Alright, Reina Ryugi. Oh, fuck off. You're fucking 1 letter difference. I get so used to calling her Reina that I just call her Reina anyway. That hearing her real name caught me a little off guard. Did it really though? Hello, this is Reina. It's me, Keiichi. Sorry for calling so late. Huh? Keiichi-kun? What do you need at a time like this? Well, actually, I wanted to know where Rika-chan's house is. Reina seemed a little appalled that I called for her something like that at this hour. I need my lollies, Reina. That's where he keeps his secret lolly stalking documents, apparently, yeah. However, he's got like all of Satoko's stuff in there as well. However, she spoke her next words seriously, as if she caught up onto how urgent my need was. Okay, sure. You know the assembly hall on the grounds of the Furude Shrine? There's a 2-story shack used for storage behind it. That's where she lives. Wait. She lives like right behind the torture shed. Is that what he means? The 2-story shack used for storage behind it. Wait, maybe not. That was a storage like warehouse, wasn't it? I don't know if they're on about the same thing. Whatever. I couldn't immediately visualize the place, but I guess it's not. But as long as I knew she lived on the shrine grounds, I just have to take a look around. Got it, thanks. Sorry again for calling so late. Apologise to your dad for me too, would you? Okay, but Keiichi-kun, why do you want to know where Rika-chan lives? Reina asked in an unusually sharp way, halting me before I could hang up the phone. I hesitated for a moment about whether to tell her. He was killed because I told him. Keiichi-kun, if you're still listening, could you answer me? Why are you asking where Rika-chan lives at a time like this? Reina affected her usual tone, but beneath her words lay a certain tension, like she'd intuitively sensed something was wrong. What will you do, Keiichi? If it's Reina, can't I tell her? He was killed because he found out. I revealed everything, so he was killed. Keiichi-kun, Reina's being serious. Please answer me. I'm talking in the third person, which means I'm serious. Reina asked me once again in a tone so forceful I couldn't imagine her ever using it normally. I was taken aback by her vigor. I think it's vigor. She lives in the torture shed. Yeah, she lives in the basement of the torture shed. Reina was Rika-chan's friend too. She had the right to be concerned about Rika-chan's disappearing. If I told Reina that, wait, would that affect Reina too if she told her? Oh boy. Even if for a moment I could drive away my horrifying fears. Reina, well, I can't exactly tell you why, but yes? Reina's tone was seriousness itself. Just from that tone I could feel her saying, no matter what you say, Keiichi-kun, I'll believe you. That subtle sense of security gave me the courage to reveal the truth. I have a feeling that Rika-chan is in danger. You mean like a premonition? Or do you have some reason to believe she's in danger? I really didn't have time to go back and forth with Reina about it. Still, I think listening to her calm voice soothed my pointless impatience. I don't have much reason, but yeah, I still hesitated. I had told Rika-chan that we had stuck into the ritual storehouse. The mayor to whom Shion had confessed before that had already disappeared, so it was possible that Rika-chan also. I didn't know how to explain it to Reina. While I was tongue-tied, Reina spoke up. Sorry for asking something so weird. I thought about it, and it isn't like you need to be sure. Reina laughed a little, seemed a little bit absent-minded. I wasn't sure in the mood to laugh, so this time I was dumbfounded. Reina continued in a cheerful yet still purposeful voice. You're worried about a friend. I don't think you need a reason to go and check on them. Even if Rika-chan was asleep and you ended up waking her up, if that was what you... Is that why you did it? Then none of us would get mad. Reina, thank you. Okay then, Keiichi-kun, just one last thing. You called Rika-chan's house, right? Then you just couldn't get through, so that's why you asked me where her house is. Yeah, that's right. I must have called her for over 10 minutes. She could just be sleeping and not have noticed. Rika-chan's house is really small. She would definitely hear the phone ringing even if she was asleep. Satoko-chan is there too, so there's no way neither of them would notice. Huh? Satoko? You mean she's living with Rika-chan? Oh my god, 2 for the price of 1. Yeah, you didn't know? Well, we can talk about that later. Anyway, if you called that much and no one answered, then something's definitely wrong. Reina understood that situation wasn't normal far faster than I could have ever imagined her to. It made her seem dependable. However, the fact that Reina had acknowledged this all meant that the best case possibility of it all was just being the result of my own needless fears went out the window. I'll go to Rika-chan's house right now. Will you come with me? I can show you the way. Sounds good. Let's meet up at the same place as usual. I'll be waiting for you. No, wait, I'll come get you at your house. You just wait there and tell your family you're coming with me to Rika-chan's house, okay? Will that be okay? We might lose if you... I've completely lost track of who's saying what, by the way. We might lose if you come here. Did you call me Chan too? She's really dependable at times like these. If you haven't, then I give her a call. No. Oh shit, maybe. I thought that would be a really odd twist in this. My thoughts froze for a moment. She would have just told me to be careful around Mion during our phone conversation a little while ago. If the Sonozaki main house was somehow lurking behind the surface of the annual freak deaths, then the current heir to the family, Mion, wouldn't be uninvolved. So wouldn't that mean she wasn't uninvolved in what happened this year to Takano-san and Tomitaka-san, and also the mayor's disappearance, and therefore Rika? Okay, bye. I'll be right over. Wait for me. That's all Rada said before hurriedly hanging out. Now wasn't the time to be doubting Mion. I needed to make sure Rika-san was safe. I got changed to grab the key to my bike. I figured things would go more smoothly if we met up in the place we usually do before school. Reina wouldn't need to come all the way to my house. My parents would probably have objected if I told them I was leaving, so I creeped out without a word. The night was unusually warm and disagreeably humid. Old background. She said that Rika-chan and Satoko lived together, right? Then it wasn't only Rika-chan, Satoko wasn't there either. Realizing what them living together really meant caused my thoughts to immediately take a turn for the worse. That can't be. Satoko she's got nothing to do with any of this. Even if there was a reason for Rika-chan to disappear, there shouldn't be one for Satoko. Keiichi-kun! Rain was really fast. She approached me on her bike at an amazing speed. Her breath was ragged, painting a clear picture of just how hurriedly she'd been in. Yeah, she still had time to tie her bow, put her little hat on. Hey Reina, let's get going. Keiichi-kun, I thought I told you to wait at your house. Reina's expression was all business. Was she mad? It came out of the blue and I faltered for a moment. But I just figured it'd be faster to meet up here. No, I was gonna joke about her getting angry, but holy fuck, what was that sound? Keiichi-kun, don't you get it? Reina shouted, clearly angry. I'd never seen Reina like this before. Well, we have. Do I get it? What's the problem? Reina seemed to notice that she was scaring me, took a couple of deep breaths and continued as if admonishing me, but her expression didn't soften at all. Keiichi-kun, the whole village is in an uproar right now that the elder disappeared, right? Yeah. Now you're telling me that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan aren't where they're supposed to be, right? Yeah. That about sums it up. You put two and two together. Then you need to be more careful. Do you have any idea how dangerous it is to be sat out here alone in the middle of the night? I began to understand where Reina's anger was coming from. I like how she's like the man in this relationship. Like she's the one that I will come and pick you up from your house. Don't go outside. You told your family you'd be going to Rika-chan's house with me, didn't you? So that in the worst case scenario, if you and I were to disappear, people would know when and where we did. Reina's perfectly level-headed in this emergency situation. Yeah, she's cute angry. This is like almost a pout. Like you could put like a little line at the side of her face and that would be like totally acceptable. Ever since the night of Watanagashi, every night someone had died or disappeared. On the night itself, Takano-san and Tomitaka-san met strange deaths. Strange ends. On the next night, the elder vanished. Now, on the next night after that, Rika-chan and Satoko were nowhere to be found. I hadn't been thinking of anyone but myself, but it wasn't enough to say that Hinamizawa was a little weird at the moment. It was, in fact, extremely strange. Reina had even anticipated her own disappearances and had told me to tell my family where I was going. I was embarrassed at my own carelessness, and the need to be embarrassed made me afraid of the night. Sorry, I didn't tell them yet. Okay, then let's go and tell them together. With Reina beside me, I wheeled back towards my house. The moon seemed strangely high in the sky. A sky that was uselessly vast and cold, so that no matter what, it would never seem to me like a dream. This cruel fact had already confronted me. On such a crazy night, Reina had been unimaginably dependable. Hinamizawa's metamorphosis, enough to make Reina cautious. Oh my Jesus Christ. Reina cautioned me against carelessness was to me the most fearsome thing of all. The moon seemed strangely high in the sky. It's almost like you just said that. We met up with Mion on the way, and she, of course, was unsure whether to believe me about Rika-chan and Satoku's disappearance. Oh, they actually met up with Mion. Oh. Kei-chan, are you serious? I'm going to get really mad if this is a joke. Mion was clearly displeased. If this were a joke, it wasn't very funny. I understood how indiscreet my words were. Ever since the day before yesterday, someone had either died or vanished every night. Rika-chan and Satoku disappearing after all that was just was something you just couldn't say, even in jest. Mi-chan, if it really is a joke, don't get mad. Smile. It would be a joke after all. We need to go make sure whether it's a joke or not. You're right. Sorry for getting upset. However indiscreet a joke it may have been, if we learned that our friends were safe, it would end up as nothing more than a funny story. Having been warned about that by Reina, Mion gave a dry smile, the tension she felt loosening a bit. She mounted her bicycle as well. Our 3 bicycles' lights flashing down the pitch black roads. There were some of the only illumination outside. Oh, that's really eerie. Jesus Christ. Kei-chan, why did you suddenly decide to call and ask about Rika-chan's house at a time like this? Mion asked me the same thing as I had trouble explaining to Reina. Oh, it's going to be even hard to explain it to her. Would it be weird to call it a premonition? I couldn't quite tell her because it was dark, but I couldn't quite tell her because it was dark. Nice one. I couldn't quite tell because it was dark, but I thought I could see Mion smiling very ambiguously. I definitely understood that she wasn't convinced, though, despite the darkness. Well, I had this bad dream while I was snoozing, and I couldn't get it out of my head. That's total bullshit. So, did Rika-chan get kidnapped in the dream? Well, it was more of a vague feeling sort of thing. If Rika-chan had answered the phone, I would have called you and Reina after that. Lies smoothly babbled out of my mouth, makeshift though they were. I was lying because I thought telling them I was connected to Shion would be like silently admitting we'd stolen into the ritual storehouse together that night. Is that a phrase people use? We'd stolen into the rich... That's weird. I've never heard that phrase before. Mion didn't press me any further. I don't know whether that convinced her. Or maybe she figured that making sure Rika-chan and Satoku were safe would be faster than making an issue out of it. That's kind of weird. Like, I understand what it means, but it's really weird. I felt relieved and immediately a little guilty. Mion hadn't really been acting any differently these last few days, but I'm still trying to distance myself from her for some reason. It was only because of what I heard from Shion and Uishi-san, that she was the successor to some kind of super extravagant gang family. No. Was I just trying to force myself to forget? Don't do that, Keiichi Maibara. Wasn't it Mion who was the first to ask about the night of Watanagashi? In such a harsh tone at that. Have I already forgotten the terror I felt? At that time, Mion looked like someone different from the Mion I knew. When I think about that Mion, then Shion and Uishi-san's description of Mion made a tiny bit more sense. That's it, isn't it? If it wasn't for how she acted that day, then I wouldn't be feeling this way towards her now. What on earth was going on with her back then? I was conveniently thinking only of everything she had done after that, or disregarding the very first thing, the thing I should have been looking at most, wasn't I? I think I said that wrong. That didn't make sense in my head. Mia was pedaling her bicycle in front of me, her long hair fluttering in the wind. Wow, what a beautiful image. No matter how long I looked at her back, it never gave me answers to any of my questions. We went all the way to the stone steps leading up to the shrine grounds. Of course we weren't going to want to haul our bikes up there, so we parked them beside the staircase instead. It's all an elaborate plan just to steal someone's bikes. So this is the Furide Shrine. Everybody comes and goes as they please, as if it were a park, but the place is actually a grand estate owned by the Furide family. So the entire shrine is private property. It really makes you feel the passage of time. 10 or 20 years ago, it would have looked the exact same. Then wouldn't that mean that the Furide family is really old, with a history going back for generations? Yeah, they're gone. That's odd. Reina said something clearly disquieting, so I ran over to her. What's wrong, Reina? Riki-chan and Satoko-chan always leave their bicycles here. See? They're gone. I took a look around. Indeed, there was no other bicycles aside from the ones we'd taken to get here. Couldn't they have parked them somewhere else? Could they have brought them up the stairs? Those girls couldn't do that, Keiji can. They're tiny little lollies. They don't have any strength. Just as she said, I couldn't imagine Riki-chan and Satoko lugging their bikes all the way up here. We hadn't yet knocked on Riki-chan's door, but reality was already sparking some ideas that weren't what you call good. Maybe they were just parked under some trees and we hadn't noticed them. I refused to believe that not being able to find their bikes here was proof that they disappeared. Let's go. The only way to be sure is to check the house. We all nodded and dashed up the stone steps. Satoko's low-key dad strength. That would be amazing. She had like a six-pack. We passed through the red arch and came out onto the shrine grounds, which was covered in neat gravel. It was so quiet here, as though the Watanagashi festival had never happened. So, where's the house they live in? Over here. Come with me. Reina took the lead and sprinted off. Sprinted off? Why are you sprinting? Come on. We went towards the assembly hall beside the shrine, then looped around behind it. Okay, so it's not. That's the storage shed, I guess. In the darkness of the night, we found a small prefab two-story shack that looks like a warehouse. The lights are off. Are they sleeping? Let's knock. Rain and Mion neared the shack, which didn't really look like a place people would live. They had such a beautiful shrine, so I figured they lived in an equally beautiful house. It was far from what I expected. God damn it! Why did that happen? Rika-chan, Satoko-chan, are you there? Reina shouted up towards the second floor. Her voice was restrained at first, but it steadily grew louder. No answer. In fact, there wasn't any sort of activity in the house at all. They might be sleeping. Let's wake them up. Mion banged on the shutter with both hands, and the loud sounds echoed in our surroundings. Wake up, you fuckers! They would have to notice this much noise. They would turn on the lights in their room, fling open the window, and yell, "What do you think you're doing?" I don't even know what I said. What time do you think this is? That, however, wasn't happening. There was absolutely no response. Mion stopped slamming her fist on the shutter, and a sudden silence fell over us. The silence aroused terrible thoughts in us. I could feel the blood draining from my face. It's locked. I wonder if we can get in somehow. I mean, we got through the other one. We got through the shrine place. Oh god. I need to add a different overlay thingy for this. Reina showed no signs of stopping. It didn't look like she would admit that they weren't there until we went in and saw for ourselves. That refusal to give in gave me strength. Oh, what is happening? The second story windows wouldn't be locked. I gave them a try. Kei-chan, a ladder. Mion brought over a ladder that was standing against the house. The footing was a little unstable for me to be climbing it, but Mion held the ladder. Did I just? Oh, okay. I thought I like clicked off something. Mion brought over the ladder that was standing against the house. The footing was a little unstable for me to be climbing it, but Mion held the ladder firmly in place for me. I hadn't climbed up too many ladders. My inexperience with them exposed. I keep getting inexperienced with a ladder. I climbed up one step at a time and tried to open each window on the second floor. Richan, I'm going to check the main house. Just be sure, okay? I'll be right back. Reina darted away. What? A main house? It's the Furili family's actual house. After her parents passed away, I think it's been left like that. Ah, right. Riki-chan's parents, they passed away, huh? At that point, Wait, no. They didn't just pass away. They got... One of them was part of the curse. Did they know that? Or was that just... What the fuck is this shit? This isn't an escalator. I can't remember if they explained who got, like, demoned away. Because one of them is, like, her father, wasn't it? At that point, I recalled something else. Wasn't Satoko living here too? Satoko's also an orphan. Her parents fell from a cliff because of Orisho-sama's curse. Okay, so they explained that bit. Then her older brother, Satoshi-kun, he disappeared. Satoshi, I've heard that name before. I remembered. He was the one who disappeared last year because of the curse. I kind of like how, even though he's an idiot, the writers are making him like, the information that he wouldn't know, they're not making too much of a deal about it because of the previous game. Like, they're not explaining, oh, who Satoshi is. Like, oh yeah, I know who Satoshi is. Just from like, even though he wouldn't, in his character, he wouldn't really remember it, he'd probably make a whole deal about it. But they're like not trying to piss off the readers, I guess. I feel like I've noticed that quite a bit. Like, there's not been too much repeated stuff. There was a little bit of like the story of the Onagafuchi, but that was about it. Ever since then, Satoko and Riki-chan had been living in the shack. I like how they don't give Satoko like Satoko-chan and Riki-chan. They're just like, Satoko, she doesn't deserve a honorific. Neither of them have any family, but at least they're together. They help each other out. Raina said main house, didn't she? Wouldn't it be easy to live there? The curtains were drawn, so I couldn't get a good look inside to see, but two young girls living together seemed like a pretty tough life. I think she tried that at first. She said it was hard though because it reminded her of her parents. I had no idea. I feel really bad for them. They were normally so cheerful at school that I never even realised an atom of this. Riki-chan and Satoko-chan. Okay, now she gets an honorific. They have it hard, huh? She's cursed. Huh? Suddenly Mion said something in such a low voice that it sounded like she was really cursing someone, and I didn't let it slide. I turned around on the ladder to face her and asked her again. Mion, what did you just say? I said, she's cursed. Mion was still holding onto the ladder, brought her head up to look me in the eyes. As soon as our eyes met, an absolute zero jolt of electricity surged through my body. Is he going to fall off the ladder? Find out next time. Mion's eyes clouded over, and within them boiled and bubbled a stew of chaos. They whirled around and around like a raging sea, and bubbles floated to the surface. I had at some point been trapped on this ladder, like being cornered on a dead-end street. Mion, why are you making that face? I intended to follow that up with it. You're going too far with this joke, and give her a forced smile. However, on such uneven footing as I was, the only thing that came out of my mouth was a hoarse groan as I desperately struggled to not let nausea overwhelm me. Satoko Huju, she's been cursed by Oishiro-sama. Mion answers with a response to something I never asked, as if replying to someone else's question. The only people who fell from the park observation platform were her parents. Only her parents, who treated her like dirt, died that day. She was the only one to survive. Then she was sent to live with her aunt, who treated her cruelly, and the aunt was killed on the night of Watanagashi by some deviant, who beat her to death so violently her brains were everywhere and her head an entirely different shape by the end of it. Jesus Christ, that's some imagery. And Satoshi-kun, who always protected her, he suddenly disappeared on her birthday. Someone made him disappear even though he wasn't abusing her. Oh, that's some red. The police judged him to have run away from home, but Satoshi-kun wasn't the kind of person who would do that. He was always earnest. He would never ask for anyone else's help. He would always drag himself through everything with hard work alone. He worked so hard he nearly ground his bones into dust. All for his one and only little sister, and yet someone made him disappear. She was the only thing he lived for, and yet someone made him disappear. Poor Satoshi-kun. He was never rewarded, that Satoshi-kun. How ungrateful that child is. She is cursed. All who get near her suffer the same fate. The curse kills them, or the curse makes them disappear. She cannot have any relief. It's probably Satoko's fault that Riki-chan's disappeared too. It has to be. Etc. Whoa, God, my eyes just like, that last line looked blue. What the hell is going on in my eyes? Jesus Christ. Mia was mumbling words over and over that were no longer coherent. Her shoulders were trembling so hard that I could feel it shaking through the ladder. I almost lost my footing, which made me realise just how far away the ground really was. Come on, the ladders aren't that high. Look how tall that building was. It was only like a few meters. Calm down, Mion. I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't sure if she even heard me. Mion rocked back and forth, and that rocking and trembling became even more violent. Help me. The ladder. It's falling. Help me. It's at least 6 foot off the ground. What am I going to do? Just then, this is how he really dies. He falls off a ladder. This is the canon route. Just then, I heard the sound of many people running towards us. Oh hey, over here. I very nearly said, help me, outright. 4 or 5 adults, led by Reino, ran over here with flashlights. This lunatic, he can't get off the ladder. Keiichi-kun, Mii-chan, sorry I took so long, I borrowed the key. Oh, nice one. Seems all the windows and doors are perfectly sealed. I was getting worried, wait. Yeah, when I heard Mion talking like nothing had just happened, I again felt a chill run through me. She can like change like a flip of a switch. Tragic ladder extra. The person currently holding the ladder in place, it was definitely Mion. It was the real Mion Sonozaki. Then, the person muttering to themselves just a few seconds ago. Who was that? The person who was mumbling about terrible things, like curses. Who was that? I jumped down from the ladder as if running away before Mion turned into that person who wasn't Mion a second time. The adults tried a few different keys on the keyring as they tried to open the big shutter on the first floor. Rika-chan's house used to be a disaster shelter for the town council, so the key to the shutter is still kept in the mayor's house. I feel like that the mayor thing is still really important to this. It's Rika-chan and Satoko's private residence now, though. Well, this is on Rika-chan's property anyway. Nobody complains about it. Mion gave me a smile as she said that. I, however, could only return her gaze with an aghast expression. Is that aghast? I haven't seen that word before. Mion was acting all too normal now, but that only contrasted all the more sharply with her earlier un-Mion-like creepiness. The shutter opened up for the first time in a very long while. Reina located the light switch and wasted no time going inside. I followed her in. Rika-chan, Satoko-chan, if you're here, say something. We climbed a near narrow staircase. It looked like nothing more than a warehouse, but now that I was inside I could feel how lived in it was. It was a person's home. Somehow the scent of the two of them filled the place. This was definitely where Rika-chan and Satoko lived. The first floor... I'm pretty sure that's just like his house but flipped. The first... This is a new song. I haven't heard this one before. I like it. I like the atmosphere it's adding. The first floor doubled as a town assembly warehouse, but the second floor was a space entirely for living. Just like a one-room apartment, past the kitchen was a living room taking up about 150 square feet. Dressers, cupboards, and the like were packed into the space, and in the corner there was a huge pile of clothes that appeared to have just been taken in from drying outside. In the centre of the living room was a fold-up table, and on it were small containers for things like soy sauce and salad dressing. The sense of a frugal lifestyle drifted from all of it. So what's the story on? Lollie's gone missing. Yeah, for now, that's... yeah, basically. It was strange that they weren't here in the middle of the night like this. The adults climbed the stairs one at a time, began to make a fuss and talk amongst themselves. So, not here? Yeah, they're not here. This is definitely weird. The village had just been thrown into chaos yesterday because of the mayor's disappearance. Then today, even Rika-chan and Satoko had. Were they out playing somewhere together? That can't be. Their bicycles aren't here though. Where would they have gone so late at night? Have they just not come back yet? Where did they go? The adults put forth various possibilities, and the house immediately devolved into a state of confusion. Eventually, Mion settled them down. Okay, they're in my basement, okay. Well, good luck with that, yeah. I don't want to believe it, but the mayor Kimoyoshi disappeared yesterday. We can't say that this is unrelated. The adult's face paled at Mion's declaration. Mine and Raina's did as well. Let's see, they could have gone nearby for some tea or something, then accidentally fallen asleep. However, whoever invited them might just not be able to wake them up at all. So they've been drugged, maybe. Let's eliminate that possibility first. Makino-san, please go around to the houses near the stream. Keitaro-san, go look near Ojaga Lake. Okamura-san, Mion probably gave directions to the villagers. The adults followed them without hesitation, despite her age. We'll remain here and call up anyone we can think of on the phone. Oh, lesin in the words. Yeah, probably. Okay, everyone, you have your orders. Got it. The orders overawed in reply and pounded back to the back down the stairs below. Ugh. Ew. Old backgrounds. Well, Mi-chan, you're not only chairperson of the school, but Hinamazawa too. Damn straight. No time for jokes. Hey, step aside. This old man is using the phone. Mion grinned proudly, took the receiver, and got started. I reckon she's gonna order some strippers. Strippers and pizza. Reina gave Mion a trusting look. Considering her dependable for doing all of this. My feelings, though, were a little more complicated, since her leadership seemed to be affirming the Sonozaki family's successor impression that Shion and Uishi-san had given me. Stop right there, Keiichi Maibara. None of that matters right now. The most important thing is to make sure Rika-chan and Satoko are safe. Let's see. Couldn't there be a clue hinting at where they might have gone somewhere in this room? Still, though, I wouldn't know what to look for anyway. If we tore down the whole place apart and figured out what was different from before, we might not be able to speculate, but there was nothing strange about this room, and there was no clues in sight. In the first place, I had never been here before. There was no way for me to know what was different if I didn't know the room usually looked. Hey, don't give up, Keiichi Maibara. Stop thinking and start looking for something. In search of something, I tried pulling open the dresser drawers and open the windows. I didn't uncover anything meaningful, though. Reina, also unable to stand around doing nothing, was looking around the room like I was. Reina, I don't think you'll find Rika-chan by opening the refrigerator or the cabinet underneath the sink. I mean, to be fair, they could be hiding underneath the sink. You never know. If the cupboard's pretty big, I feel that's a lot of people hide stuff there. Like, I mean, maybe not a person, but they could probably fit into pretty small gaps. The fridge is like, I don't know, that's like, if they're in the fridge, they're going to be cut up in bits, probably. I just thought they might be hiding. Okay, why is she doing this? This is not the time, Reina. As we were searching, it got noisy outside. Villagers were quickly assembling here, having heard the commotion. Of course, a lot of them were probably people being called. I'll go tell everyone what's going on. The police will be here sooner or later, too. We need to explain the situation to Ishii. Mina began descending the stairs, and we followed her out to the front of the house. There were already around 10 adults here. Oh, 10 adults there. And all of them looked uneasy. I suddenly noticed that the old people from the shrine were here as well, and they were praying for Rika-chan's safety, rubbing their prayer beads. This has gotten bad. This wasn't just a problem between friends anymore. Mion-chan, is it true that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan aren't anywhere to be found? Oh my god, is this like the paparazzi? The villagers all formed a ring around Mion, swarming her. Okay, pretty much. Mion raised her right hand as if silently telling them to calm down. First, let's check every house according to the town council's notification division and see if they're visiting anyone. After all, they could be fast asleep at someone's house and totally unaware that we're looking for them. It would definitely be hard for someone to wake Rika-chan if she had eaten a good full meal and fallen asleep like a kitten afterwards. How nice it would be if that were the case. I don't want to think about this, but it's also possible something bad had happened. Mion's face grew remarkably more grim, and a wave of silence washed over the adults. We should divide up the work too. We'll go round to all the places we went last night while looking for the mayor. We'll go look around the damn construction site as best as we can. You guys go search around the school. Right, let's get a move on. Come on, let's go. Let's go. All of you were up all night looking for the mayor. I know you're all low on sleep, but please do your best. Got it. With all that, with that as their signal, the adults scattered in every direction. I feel I should scatter somewhere as well, so I started walking unsteadily in a direction no one else had gone in. Good job, Keiichi. You're helping. Man, that gif makes this scene so like depressing. I was getting further and further from people. I didn't feel scared or anything though. If someone were made to disappear, Sean and I should be first. It would be perfectly normal for me to be scared of the dark. However, I didn't feel that way. Why was that? It was because tonight, someone had already disappeared. So nobody else would disappear tonight. It would take some time before I, exhausted as I was, would feel guilt at the cause of my own selfish sense of relief. There's no way that was a chapter, surely. No, okay. I was gonna say. That's a new art, I think. Suddenly my vision cleared and a cold wind caressed my body. This was the hill from which you could see the whole village. Looking down from this hill, I could see lights on here and there. I knew that the entire village had awoken from its slumber. First Takano-san and Tomitaki-san, then the mayor, and now even Rika-chan and Satoko had been sacrificed, and word of it was spreading everywhere. The strength in my knees left me. This could no longer be a joke. We could have found them. Mion would have told me I was a warrior. Reina would have just been glad we did. And then we would have smiled at me. They would have smiled at me. My hopes disappeared as if I was awakening from a dream. That was the view I could see. Was telling me. Following my knees, my arms both bent forwards under the ground, and I clawed at it with my nails. I couldn't figure out if I was feeling sorrow or frustration. So it tells me this is like, that's like this kind of little section of the disappearance of. I feel like that's not everything. I feel like there's still a lot to go in this chapter. Like, not this chapter, this arc. But maybe I'm thinking of something else. Because it was definitely going the way I thought it was, but then it's taken a direction I can't remember. Is this my fault? I couldn't endure the burden of my own sin, and I just told Rika-chan about it. They had nothing to do with it, but Rika-chan and even Satoko had been sacrificed. It was like a cross that Shion and I each would bear the weight of until what? That Shion and I would each have to bear the weight of until we ourselves are erased. That was whatever. Well, if I'm going that far, then the problem started long before that. My original sin of breaking taboo and entering the ritual storehouse without asking. I knew I shouldn't have gone in there from the start. Yeah, I lost out to cheap curiosity. To be fair, Tomitaki died and he didn't go in. So, I don't know at what point, you know, you were part of it. But I don't think it was the literally going in the door was because Tomitaki got wrecked. Oh god, what have you done? Oh, is that that's the top diff? I got like a 97% slide break on that the other day, but you know, not bad. It's funny because you basically added that. Yeah, I lost out to cheap curiosity. I hadn't felt so angry at myself until this very moment. There was a crunching sound. I wasn't even interested in who made the noise, despondent as I was. Keiichi-kun! Keiichi-kun, are you okay? It was Reina. Perhaps I clawed at the ground, made it look as though I was having stomach pains. She ran over and rubbed my back like she was trying to make me feel better. Oh, this is all my fault. It's because of me. It's my fault. Keiichi-kun's fault? You didn't do anything wrong. Please don't blame yourself for this. I could tell Reina was doing her best to choose the right words out of consideration for me. That's why I could sense her intent behind those words. Keiichi-kun, you know why Rika-chan and Satoko-chan disappeared, didn't you? Oh, don't you? Is what she really meant to say. Because it was an emergency, Reina had ignored the reason why I wanted to make sure Rika-chan was safe, but now that we'd actually confirmed her disappearance, it was only natural Reina would start to wonder about why. However, with the situation having gone this far, I couldn't possibly tell her now. I didn't want to admit that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan had disappeared, but I couldn't let Reina disappear either. Keiichi-kun, if you stay here, out here in the wind, you'll catch a cold. Reina sat down, bringing her eyes level with me. They told us that children should go back home to sleep. Reina showed me her watch as she said that. It was long past 1 in the morning. Those are baby hours. Time was passing too quickly. Had I been crawling around here for that long? Yeah. If we don't sleep soon, we'll have trouble getting up for school tomorrow. Is that what you really... That's what you're really worrying about? Even the older adults are really worn out since they were up searching for the mayor last night too. they were saying they'd break up a little earlier tonight. I was a little upset that they weren't allotting as much time to this as they had to search for the mayor last night, but that was something I, of course, the cause of everything, had no right to criticise them for. It's alright, the police arrived a little while ago. Look, there's a police car coming into the village right now. Hearing that remark, I looked down at the village to see that there was indeed more cars than one would normally expect at this hour, coming from the darkness of the other side of the mountain. However, none of their emergency lights were on. Of course, their sirens weren't wailing either. That's right, all of the incidents that occurred right after the Watanagashi was seen as the product of Oishiro-sama's curse and would be handled in secrecy. Rika-chan and Satoko too, their disappearance would end up exactly like the other serial incidents in the past. Surreptitious, I don't know, unresolved, declared a mystery. Okay, they just explained like what it meant, but I've never seen that word before, and disappeared from our memory. Rika-chan's face, her sweet face, like a Western doll's, would fade away. Satoko's smile, her energetic fang smile, would fade away. The more I tried to remember them, the less I would be able to. I deserved to be called an idiot dozens of times over, and it wouldn't be enough. I couldn't hold back the tears on my own sheer stupidity. I don't know what you're blaming yourself for, Keiichi-kun, but you should stop. I wasn't able to deny it. I couldn't. Even so, I couldn't affirm it either. I want to at least keep Reina out of this. If she found out, she would become involved. Please, Reina, could you just leave me alone? Even if I went home, I wouldn't be able to sleep. If I couldn't get to sleep, then I at least wanted to search for Rika-chan and Satoko until I collapsed. The entire village was looking, and yet they still hadn't been found. I don't think I'd be able to find them at this point. Find them if I went looking alone at this point. Still, I had to do it. They disappeared because of me. I couldn't possibly go to sleep while other people were out there searching. I said that to myself in self-deprecation, but I soon realised that Reina was silently trying to find the meaning in my mumblings. I realised I had misspoke. It's Keiichi-kun's fault? Why do you think that? Why? That can't be. Keiichi-kun, you're not at fault. Oh, that's his, wait. No, I don't know. I was happy that Reina said these things to me, but she only did that because she didn't know the truth. If she knew that everything had been caused by me, my breaking taboo on the night of Watanagashi, that even Reina would curse my existence. However, I can't even allow for those curses. That would mean confessing my own crimes to Reina. If I spilled even one word of having snuck into the ritual storehouse on the night of Watanagashi, then even Reina could disappear tomorrow night. The gentle, spirited, always joking, always howling, but at a time like this, the most dependable person in the world, Reina, might disappear. I don't want that. Anything but that. This time, I need to bear my own cross, alone. Keiichi-kun, I know that you always have your friends in your heart. I can really understand feeling like you want to kick yourself. Reina knows that it's not Keiichi-kun's fault. You didn't do anything wrong, Keiichi-kun, and I know that. You know that? The shivering in my veins rushed up my back and replaced the sorrow in my heart with fear. I didn't tell her anything, did I? Maybe I accidentally said something that caused Reina to figure it out. This is bad. Now Reina will disappear. Reina will disappear. Reina will disappear. Oh no. Oh no. He's losing it. Then Reina, the same way I always did, grabbed my head and began to pet it roughly. Keiichi-kun, are you thinking that Reina might disappear now too? Because of Oishiro-sama's curse? She put more force into the hand rub in my head. You don't need to worry about that. Reina isn't going anywhere, I promise, because I'm behind it all. Why, how can you say that with such confidence? I mean, someone's been sacrificed every night so far. There was no proof that it wouldn't happen again tomorrow night. Oh yeah, it's like, why is it happening that's like not on the night of Watanagashi? Like, it's happening like the next days. That's kind of weird. Oh no. Well, I was so tired, it's only 9 o'clock, Jesus Christ. There was even less proof, after all, that the sacrifice wouldn't be Reina. I don't care who you are, just please, if you're going to erase someone, erase me first. Please, stop calling getting rid of people we're close to, like the mayor for Shion and Rika-chan and Satoko for me. Shion's hysterical shouting coming back to my mind. They must be planning to kill us last of all. They're not killing the first people who come to mind, they're starting by killing off those we're close to, and then kill, and then us after they've caused us so much pain, they'll kill us. It must be what they're doing. Reina, please don't disappear. Please don't. As long as I'm still here, I can no longer conceal the sobs welling up within me. Come on, Cage, you can. Crying doesn't suit you. Let's go back to the others. The housewives are cooking some miso soup for us. It will warm you up and calm you down. Reina prompted me to stand. I didn't have the energy to oppose her, so I stood as she urged me to. We returned to the shrine grounds to find several gas stoves there with miso soup in big pots. The many villagers there sipped on the soup they were given in dead stony silence. Their expressions were absolutely exhausted. Everyone had just been running around the village until a little while ago. From the dreary looks on their face though, I assumed they hadn't come up with anything yet. Kei-chan, where did you go? I was worried you disappeared too. Sorry, Mion held out some miso soup for me, but I refused the offer. I didn't have much of an appetite. Mi-chan, how is it? Did you find any clues? Mion took a sip of her soup, her expression frank. None at all. School ended and they went home. Then the two of them went somewhere on their bicycles. Moreover, nobody ever saw them riding their bikes, so... Oh god, creepy background. When it gets dark out at Himazawa, people quickly vanish from the streets. Aside from adults hurrying back from home, back home from town in cars or on bikes, it was normal to see absolutely nobody walking around outside. It wasn't at all strange that nobody had seen Rika-chan and Satoko riding their bikes. How much longer is this going to be? Because I'm going to have to use it. I don't really know, to be honest. I feel like this day will end kind of soon. That's fine if you have to go there. I'm a lot tired than I thought I was going to be. I'm probably going to stop in like 20 minutes. Or at least this game. I don't know. I'll probably just end up, to be honest. It was the same last night with the mayor. There's no hope. Mia's apathetic tone pricked my nerves, but that anger quickly subsided. She had been doing all sorts of things to try and find Rika-chan until just a second ago. Okay. It depends how long it is, I guess. I'm pretty sure... I'm not really sure. I feel like this is like right in the middle of the night. It's like quite near the end of the night, so I'm guessing it's going to end kind of soon. Okay, yeah. If I asked her, she'd probably say she was up all night last night too, looking for the mayor, wouldn't she? She must have been far more fatigued than I was. Besides, what about me? I had spent the time hunched over in indecision all alone. I had no right to say anything about Mion. Kei-chan, I know it's hard, but let's turn in for the night. We just decided we should break up the search for now. Drink this and let's call it quits. Is this the end? Oh no, of course not. Once it's bright out again, we'll do a thorough search with the police's help. They could have gone to Okonomiya too. People were even saying we should go through all the Shishiban City investigating whether there are any witnesses for both the girls and the mayor. Maybe Shion knows. Probably not. Anyways, what happened, Kei-chan? Where did you go off to? You vanished all of a sudden. I was really worried. Oh my god, she's scary. Suddenly I was on the receiving end, but I didn't have the willpower to respond. Sorry, I'll be more careful. Nothing happened? There wasn't anyone suspicious spying on you or stalking you? Nothing like that? Ron demanded with a serious expression. I was being criticised for how inconsiderate I had been. Despite being in so much pain, I was frustrated that I was being criticised, but it was my sin. My sin, and I must bear it alone. Nothing. I'll be careful either way. Sorry. Mion, now aware that nothing had happened, heaved a big sigh with her shoulders, looking relieved. Oh. Oh my. I knew I smelled something good coming from over there. I'd be much obliged if you allowed me to have some. We heard the repulsive voice of a fat man. Wow. Okay. It was Rishi-san, trailed by a hand for... Oh, it's not been approved. I got a good emote for Franco Face. I submitted. But you're gonna want to get you want to install it for when it does get approved. It'll be really good for Higurashi, I think. It was Rishi-san, trailed by a handful of police officers. He was acting energetically and unfitting given the situation. It's the fat controller. Fat controller's thick. Oops. I don't really have anything good. There's not much left, but you can have some if you want. Mion didn't like Yuichi-san very much. Her cold attitude, though, didn't seem to bother Yuichi-san in the slightest. It was like splashing water in a frog's face. Well, now miso soup leftovers have a bit too much salt for my taste. Confound it. Nahaha. Would you all like any? He recommended it to his subordinates, but everyone gave dry smiles and refused. Oh, fuck me, I get a headache. So have the police gotten hold of any clues? Raina's smile was warm enough to replace the miso soup. Don't you worry, little missy. Everything's fine. We're searching for them real good. Yeah, for sure. I don't even know what that laugh is. I'm pretty sure I've done it completely wrong. He didn't say a word about having found any new clues. In other words, there had been no progress. That sure was an annoying way of beating around the bush. In any case, it really has gotten late. All of you youngsters should get home and get some sleep. It will be bad for your health otherwise. Yeah, Kei-chan, Reina, get some rest. These guys are our tax money. They're handling it from here for us. We're taxpayers too, you know. It's like we're drinking our own piss. Oh, amazing. I really wasn't in the mood for laughter. I disagree. That was very funny. In fact, Uchi-san was the only one laughing like an idiot. Okay, seriously, please do your best. Let's go home, Keiichi-kun. It'd be harder to wake up tomorrow if we don't. Yes, that's alright. I can always bring you home if you need. Kira-chan, why don't you bring the car around? No thanks. We came on our bikes, so... No need to worry. We came in a truck. We're just throwing the bikes in the back. Don't you throw my bike. That's a joke I'd laugh at, yeah, so... we may have gotten pretty sleepy, but we just needed to read home at this point. I didn't want to bother the police like that. Reina, however, nodded. Okay, if you insist, we'd appreciate it. It's probably safer than if we went back alone. I don't know. It's like a mysterious truck, or just on the bikes. When I thought about it carefully, I realised that Reina's idea was extremely rational. Now that's decided, let's get a move on, shall we? Okay, bye. Good night, Reina, Kei-chan. Yeah, Mi-chan, you go to bed soon, okay? Good night. I waved my hands as well, saying goodbye. Rika-chan and Satogo still hadn't been found. My unease, however, was steadily being pushed away by sleepiness. Reina showed the police where our bicycles were so that Uchi-san could haul them up into the truck. He prompted us to get in the back seat. I could hear the springs squeaking as I sat down onto a seat that would normally hurt my rear end, but at this point it was very soft and was more than comfortable enough for me to fall asleep on. Ladies first, we'll start by the little Mrs. house. Where do you live? I don't like when they're little with the car, it's really weird. Thank you. My house as well. Reina's voice slowly grew distant. I felt myself being sucked into the void of sleep. I thought she was going to say, I don't have a house. Hello, my person. Are you asleep out there? Huh? When I came to it, it was quiet. The car was parked. Little Ishi. He's so cute. Ishi-san was giving me light slaps on the cheek. I didn't feel good at all, so I woke up immediately. No, I'm sorry. I just fell asleep. Something was being held right under my nose. A clump of metal. It was a can of coffee. It's lukewarm by now, but cafe au lait? That sounds... I feel like I've heard that before, but I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. It's good even at room temperature. Was that right? Am I good at French? Or is that wrong? Cute thick boy. Slap me, daddy. Oh, thanks. Cafe au lait. Yeah, that's what I said, yeah. Yeah. Yay, I did it. Oh, thanks. I mechanically took the can and opened the pull top. The feeling of this warm, sweet liquor going down my throat awakened my sleepy mind. Wow, that was lewd. When my drowsiness receded, I started wanting to know where the car was stopped and why I was ordered coffee. Oh shit, you might get a question. Rishi-san, who had been in the driver's seat, had at some point moved to the back. Oh shit. Suddenly, I had a very bad feeling about this. It reminded me of the questioning yesterday at the library. Yeah, it was already too late by the time I realised I made a mistake. The day of all days, it didn't look like I would be getting away. I had a feeling that until Rishi-san heard what he wanted, he wouldn't be letting me go. Aha, please don't get all formal on me. I'm not going to eat you or anything. My Bara-san. Rishi-san gulped down the last of his coffee, then stretched wide, showing me how relaxed he was. Legs spread wide. That, however, only served to heighten my nervousness. What do you need from me? Need? Oh, no, nothing, right? You're going to evade the question at this point. What a deeply unreadable man. Well, I don't need you for anything. I just thought that you might need something from me, Marabara-san. I don't need anything. Bullshit. Oh, I see. Really? Are you sure there's nothing? No. There's only one side door in the back seat of this truck. In other words, my only exit was blocked off by Rishi-san. Oh shit. I couldn't get away. I could only limply hang my head and maintain my silence. Rishi-san, despite my reticence, I don't know if that's right, relaxed and began smoking a cigarette. The cries of the insect outside seemed to be growing longer and longer, to an amount of time that almost seemed infinite. Yeah, I know, right? We've had it for like 30 hours. Here I was sure that you had something you wanted to talk to me about. Rishi-san exhaled a puff of smoke. The windows were open, but the tobacco smoke still accumulated inside the vehicle. How much did Rishi-san know? What did he know? What did he want to hear from me? If finding out the truth made you disappear, then if I told him, would Rishi-san disappear too? I had a feeling that might be a good idea. I had a feeling that I didn't want to worry about that in his case. Wow. I wonder how this ended up happening. Rishi-san addressed me in a low tone as if he was talking to himself. How all this ended up happening? How the hell should I know? Okay. That was what I wanted to know. You know Jiro Tomitaki-san and Mio Takano-san, right? I know you do, because I personally witnessed you with them during the festival, along with Shion-san and Sonozaki-san. Oh fuck. Do you know how Tomitaki-san and Takano-san are doing now? They've actually, well, passed away. They met very untimely deaths. Rishi-san probably played that card in order to surprise me. However, I already knew, and I didn't display the extreme reaction he expected. What's this? Did you already know? Unfortunately for this question in particular, remaining silent was equivalent to saying yes. Oh, so then did you also know the reason Tomitaki-san and Takano-san were cursed like that? People were saying that apparently they went into some forbidden building, the storehouse for ritual implements. That forbidden shed, sealing away Hinamizawa's blood-stained past, where the mistake that started it all happened. Do you know about the rumors that say that the Mei and Riki-chan-san were cursed because of that too? That would mean it was mine and Shion's fault. He was right. As soon as we revealed what we did. What did they call it? A ritual storehouse? They're saying it was bad luck, the lock to have been replaced by a simpler one, which made it easier for thieves to get inside. What? This was news to me. No, it wasn't. Wait. Oh, that was the tip, wasn't it? Until last year, it apparently had these big bars and a huge padlock on it. I mean, you know, ever since the priest and his wife passed away, Rika Furude-san had been managing the place, right? Apparently she talked to the mayor saying she wanted them replaced with a lighter, more simple padlock because the bars were too heavy for her. I didn't know anything about those big bars he was talking about, but the lock had certainly been a simple one. It was a pretty cheap one too, and it didn't really fit my impression of what a lock for a place you'd store something as important as ritual implements would look like. Riki-san is a small girl after all. Small. The bars were heavy with rust, and they must have caused her a lot of trouble. So the mayor hired a craftsman and replaced the lock with a simple padlock so she could open it with a key. So how does that mean it was bad luck? Here's what I'm saying. Thieves couldn't get in with the old tight lock, so the mayor and Riki-san replaced it with a cheap lock and the key on their own, so thieves broke in. Apparently that's how it's going down. That explanation's a bit... In that slide, certain members of the village delivered punishment upon the thieves who stole into the ritual storehouse, as well as the mayor and Riki-san, who changed the lock. At least those are the whispers that seem to be going around. Marabara-san, what do you think? What do I think? I don't really know what you mean by certain members of the village. Hey, level 15. Congrats, Migish. Are you familiar with the three families? Representative families. Representatives from each of them gave short addresses at the Watanagashi festival opening ceremony. Did you see them? I came partly through the festival, so I don't really. The three families are three oldest families in Hinamizawa. To give actual names, the Kimiyoshi family, the Sonozaki family, and the Furude family. They each have quite a lineage, it seems. Long ago, it seems that everything in the village was decided by the council of the three families. The Kimiyoshi family, Old Man Kimiyoshi, meaning the mayor's family. The Sonozaki family, was Mion's. So the Furudi family was Rika-chan's family then. After the war, the Sonozaki family quickly expanded their influence, practically speaking after leading the fight against the construction during the dam conflict. They jumped to the top of the hierarchy in Hinamizawa. You see though, in accordance with their old ways, they still decide important village matters only after consulting with the three families. Yeah, I know, right? Well, he did kind of go to bed for like probably half an hour, and then he woke him up with coffee. I really hope this ends soon. Like, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna like watch something and go to sleep, I think. That's why the leaders of the three families each have their own addresses at the start of Watanagashi. Like, my eyes are like just falling asleep. In other words, the mayor, the old lady currently in charge of the Sonozaki family, and the last remaining member of the Furudi family, Rika-san. I heard that the Sonozaki family was pretty high up there, so Rika-chan's family was just as old. Well, as you're aware, she has no relatives at all. In reality, the Furudi family holds up pretty much no influence. However, it seems like people gravitate towards Rika-san on a personal level, and I hear that many of the village's elderly have blind faith in her. It was certainly true that Rika-chan has an odd sort of charisma amongst the elderly. So the old ladies are into lollies too. Amazing. So what are you telling me about this three family stuff for? Rishi-san paused for emphasis, lighting another cigarette. Paused for emphasis. I explained a lot, but I suppose it's still not enough. I'm asking because I don't understand. Rishi gave me a dry, meaningful grin and blew out another big puff of smoke. Members of the three families are disappearing one after the other. Yeah, I think we gathered that. That's what I'm talking about. I read that it's based on some kind of old tradition inherent of Hinamizawa, but I don't know much beyond that. I don't know anything about it either. That's what I am asking. The leaders of the Kimiyoshi and Furudi families have disappeared, so maybe the leader of the Sonozaki would disappear next? Well, that's just a random idea bouncing around in my head at the moment. Nah, just kidding, really. The leader of the Sonozaki family, well, who is it? The current leader is the old lady at their main house, but it wouldn't be incorrect to say that practically all their rights of the leadership have been transferred to her granddaughter, Mion-san. The visage of Mion giving prompt directions to the adults while searching for Rika-chan sprung back to mind. Mion? Why is he surprised by this? Mion, she's going to disappear? I guess I wasn't thinking it like that. I was thinking that maybe they were behind it. But yeah, this, I guess, makes more sense. If we're looking at it from the cat's point of view. Good job. Busted. I hadn't even thought of that possibility. I saw someone stream earlier. Who was it? Is it Bubble Man? No. I hadn't even thought of that possibility. All my hair stood on end. That's insane. Nobody wants that, right? Of course not. We can't allow that. Oishi-san grabbed my shoulders with both hands. Then help us, Maribara-san. I had to be really careful of that, especially with like multi-twitch. When I was watching like oh, I can't remember. Probably Fluffy and Electa. And I was like, I put something in the wrong channel. Especially because like two completely different conversations. Like if one transferred to the other, I'd be like, oh, this is awkward. Then help us, Maribara-san. If there's anything you've noticed about Mion Sonozaki lately, please tell me. I was going along with him, but by the time I realised it was too late. Oishi-san brought his face in closer, almost close enough to ram into mine. Give me a kiss. Waiting for my next words. This pressure. I can't tear my eyes away from his. It's true love, Oishi. At that moment, I heard a beeping sound. It was from the driver's seat. He ignored it at first, but then it started to bother him, so he finally let go of me and leaned into the driver's seat. Cucked. Hello? Yep, loud and clear. I was saved. Of course, it's not like I escaped through his opening. I see. Yes, alright. Let's head back then. Yes. Okay. Apparently he was being recalled. Now that I was being free, the tension in my body dissipated all at once. It looks like I need to get going. We were just getting to the good part too. That's too bad. We should have flung open the way he said that. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I said it, but that it seems like he's enjoying it. Like, oh, we just got to the good part. It's kind of weird. Like he's enjoying people disappearing. I don't know. Ishi-san flung open the door, exited, and walked around the front to the driver's seat. He left the door open. Did that mean I could leave? You really cared about your friends, my brother. An admirable trait for a kid to have this day and age. I totally understand that it feels like you're being betrayed. That you'd be betrayed now if you told the police anything. My brother, it's the middle of the night, so get a good night's sleep. It was the middle of the night, apparently, like 5 hours ago. What are you on about? So get a good night's sleep, and then think about it. Just a little bit of courage from you might have been what saves many of your friends in the end. Did he want to say that the sacrifices wouldn't stop Rika-chan and Sataka? You know this already, but every night since Watanagashi, something has happened. In the past, the curse only occurred once per year, but this time it's been going on for days. Yeah, I noticed that too. What a preposterous year this has been. I was kind of wondering why that was happening. I don't think you can call that preposterous. The night before last night, and now today. There's no proof that something won't happen tomorrow night as well. It's our job to prevent such things before they happen, but for that we need your cooperation, my son. I looked out the opened door to see none other than my own house right in front of me. It creeped me out that he knew my name and my address, but I was too sleepy right now. I was too sleepy to care. Same to us. Well, you're probably tired. Oh, it's already 3 in the morning. Please get yourself a good night rest. Yes, sir. I'll be going now. When I was about to get out the truck, as if to deliver a parting blow, Rishi-san... What? A parting blow? What does that even mean? Rishi-san said in a raised voice, I'll be coming by every day until you feel like talking, alright? I don't believe forcing you to confess in an interrogation room is really in fashion these days. I couldn't say anything in response. But me slamming the door shut probably served the same purpose. He stole my bike! Oh my god! After lightly beeping the horn, Rishi-san's truck drove off. I went to the front door without waving goodbye. The door was locked, but the chain wasn't up. I unlocked the door and entered. Then walked over to the staircase. Dude, he literally stole my bike. That was where I lost consciousness. Please end. I want to go. Please. Please. Hey, we made it. Okay, you're free to go, Mickey. Hopefully that's the end of the chapter. I feel like he probably is. Yeah, okay. Oh, I am not reading that now. Okay, we'll read that next time. I'm kind of... It's kind of annoying I'm only getting through one chapter. It's going to take like, what, 12 streams basically to like get through the game. But, I don't know. Especially when you guys have, you guys always seem to have to go and I'm just being really tired. I guess it's better. I'm enjoying like doing other games as well. Like when it's just this. Like even though this is fun, I like doing other games as well to give like some other people stuff to watch, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, that's true to be honest. Depending on how this ends and how like hyped I am, I might take a little break.